Call from mom. Answer it. Call silenced.
Instacart knows nothing gets between you and the game. That's why they make ordering from your couch easy. Stock up today and get all your groceries for the week delivered in as fast as 30 minutes without missing a minute of the game.
You have 47 new voicemails.
Download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
and even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
I just go with what I do.
Incredible. Wait for it. And I hope you're hungry because the second half of this word is edible. Incredible.
Jeff Lutz.
Have you ever been nominated for anything of the year?
Yeah.
What?
Man of the Year by the NCAA. I didn't win it, but...
Oh, my gosh.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Don't touch that guy.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Bob and Jeff Show, Friday edition. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz co-hosting, Max Power producing, engineering the show. 869-1240 is the IHOP hotline. I watched your game yesterday.
All right.
A good portion of it, not start to finish. Good game.
Not really. Wasn't that good of a game. We started the game off.
Our bullpen came in and did what your bullpen does.
Our bullpen
shut you down.
Our bullpen was fine. I'm not worried about it.
I didn't say your bullpen wasn't
fine.
It
was a bad game.
I said their bullpen,
I don't
the
care.
Royals I'm talking about, came in and just absolutely put the clamps down.
Okay. I don't know what you want me to say to that.
Well, I don't know. I want you to talk about the game a little bit.
I don't want to talk about the game. We played today. That game's over. We're 40-21. We're in first place. We're moving ahead. We're in Miami. We're getting ready. Yesterday is gone forever. No getting it back.
You had 9 hits in a very against Brady Singer, who'd only lasted 3 innings?
3 and a third or 2/3. I think
you couldn't get your runners in. They couldn't get their runners in. But eventually they did get a couple runners in.
Right. They had a little soft hit double off Hunter Gaddis, and then followed that with an RBI single, and that was your ball game. I thought the Guardians would put up a little bit more of a fight with the top of the order in the 9th, but it didn't happen. They went 1, 2, 3, and you get on a plane and you go down to South Beach. That's what happens.
Oh, you're right there. You're right on the cusp of blowing the gasket.
I am.
But I'll let it go.
Not a day after. I'm ready
to blow a gasket.
I'm ready for today's game.
I watched my team after a middling road trip come home against a terrible Rockies team and lose 3-2. That's what I watched. That's what I saw last night after I got home from McAdams Park. And you don't think I'm angry?
You should be angry. You lose to the Rockies at home, that's a disaster.
But it's not very good, and I don't know when that's just going to become a fact of everyone's life, and they're going to stop pretending that, if we could just get Goldie going, or if Nolan would start to rip the ball a little bit, or now Sonny Gray's pitching not very well. And what do you have? What do you have?
You have a 500 club, basically. Struggle to maintain a 500 record at times. And you have teams, well, I lost 2 or 3 to the Rockies on the road, so I can't talk much, but you shouldn't be losing to the Rockies at home.
Well, no, that's what I just said.
At home, you got to take care of the Rockies.
There's nobody more real about their baseball team than this guy. I am completely real. I tell it like it is.
What am I?
Yeah, you're wishy-washy day to day. up and down all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't see the big picture. But I do.
Well, your big picture is crumbling. That's why you see a big picture.
Well,
Because there's nothing to see in the small picture. Nothing going on.
If I were a Guardians fan, my reaction to that team would be, man, I hope we can hold on with this. Because we don't have much of an offense.
Well, that's just not true.
It is true.
It's not true. What do you need to see after 2.5 months?
Jose Ramirez is basically carrying you.
That's just not true. It's just not true.
Well, it is true.
It's not true.
There,
I don't know
there
what
it
you
is
want.
again on the.
Well, you don't watch the team play. They lead the league in runs. I mean, what else do you need?
On the cusp of losing it.
I don't know what else you need other than a team that leads the league in runs or has, been up and down there with the Yankees 1 and 2. I don't know if.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
They have Stephen Kwan. They have Jose Ramirez. They have Josh Naylor. They have David Fry. I don't know exactly what you're looking for.
Well, I'm looking for a team that I trust.
They have a plus 80 run differential. They've scored 309 runs. Cardinals have scored 236 runs.
Right.
You saying we don't have an offense?
Right now, they're 7th in batting average, 238. I'm sorry, but if I had a mother who was still alive, I wouldn't write to her about it. That's how I feel about that. They are 3rd in runs, which is a mirage.
Not.
They are 9th in home runs. They are total bases. They are 10th. So their runs, slugging percentage, they're 7th. This is the American League. OPS, they're 6th. On-base percentage, they're 4th, which is good. They draw a lot of walks.
So they get on base and score. Oh, wow, that's a terrible
bases,
offense.
They're 3rd. That's a nice deal.
So here's what you're saying. They get on base. They move around the base as well. They have speed, and they score runs.
I wouldn't trust them.
That's a terrible offense.
I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them.
What a terrible offense that is.
It's not a great offense, and it'll come crashing down.
Well, we score a lot of runs. I don't know what else you need. That's the name of the game in baseball.
We'll be sitting here in the middle of August talking about, boy.
No, they'll be a lot better.
Remember when Cleveland was scoring?
And they'll be even better
on that.
You don't know what you're talking about, though. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just popping up. Well, they're 8th and it was 8th and they're 8th in double plays and
no, I'm telling you, they're
14th in blue pits.
They don't have an elite offense.
I didn't say they had an elite offense. You earlier said they have no offense.
They have a run of the mill.
They have a very good offense.
No, they
that
don't.
has carried them through the season.
No, they
with
don't.
Their bullpen. They have speed. They have contact. They have some power in their lineup. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know why I'm having this conversation.
Because I do know what I'm talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't watch the Guardians. You don't follow the Guardians. You don't pay attention to the Guardians. You should not talk about the Guardians.
Now, you want to talk about a team that's bad? The Cardinals. They rank 27th, tied with Oakland in runs scored. That's not good. The Cardinals are bad. Batting average, terrible. They're ranked 21st. They're hitting 233. This is in all of Major League Baseball now. I'm talking. OPS, just awful. Cardinals ranked 22nd. Slugging, I don't even want to go there. It's embarrassing. The Cardinals rank 22nd. That's a bad team.
Right.
But the Guardians are right there.
Oh, God. I wish you had just a clue of what you were talking about.
I don't know why you get so upset.
Because you don't know what you are talking
All
about.
we're doing is talking baseball.
Well, I told you the other.
And I've been following baseball for so long that I have complete trust in what I say.
Great.
I just feel like, and I don't want this to sound like I have an ego that's out of control. I feel like I know baseball about as well as anyone in the country.
Well, you don't, because you're just popping off about a team you don't follow. So what makes you feel confident in an uneducated opinion?
I follow them.
No, you don't.
I follow all the teams.
I told you the other
The
day.
last couple nights, I've sat up late and watched the Padres play.
Great. I told you
watched
the other
games.
I told you the other day. Daniel Schneemann got called up.
Daniel
Now,
who?
if you were if
Daniel
you
who?
followed the team, you'd know who that is.
Daniel who?
Exactly.
Schneemann?
Yes.
Is that a Schneemann?
Yeah, that's his name.
Even you're smiling at that.
No, because you're an idiot.
Hey, Schneemann.
If you had a guy like that get called up,
I wish the guy
you
would
know-
change his name.
you know who he
all.
is. Why?
It just doesn't roll off.
I don't care what it rolls off. He's got a hit in every game. He's drawn a couple walks. He's played good defense.
What's the team say to him?
Good job,
Good job. What?
Dan.
No. What else?
Well, they probably call him Schnee.
Oh, that choke there.
Sorry.
Why are you so angry?
Why
are you defending Daniel Schneemann?
Why are you a gaslighter? Why is that the only way you can argue?
Oh, for crying out loud! Just talking about baseball.
But that's the only way you can argue.
That's
Is
all.
to make me feel like I'm dumb.
I'm just talking about baseball.
Well, let's talk baseball.
I do like to talk baseball, and I'm very agitated about the team I follow.
All right. Well, you focus on that team. I'll focus on my team.
And maybe it is a little jealousy.
And we can hug it out later.
Maybe it is a little jealousy, envy that your team is in first place, 19 games above 500. But I just have to tell you that when I watch them, and I've watched a few games.
A few. I've watched all of them.
Their starting pitching isn't as good as it used to be.
It is not. I would not debate that.
Their bullpen's really good.
Their bullpen is the best.
Their offense is okay.
It is good. If their offense was only okay and they had bad starting pitching, they'd be a 500 team. You can't just get by on a bullpen.
I take it their defense is good.
It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. It's getting the job done.
Ranked 7th in stolen bases. That's good. The Cardinals never steal a base. They wouldn't know what to do with a base.
Well, we're a team with an identity. Now,
They're
if that's
26. The Cardinals are terrible.
I know. So
That's
why are
what
you
I'm
lashing
trying to
out at
tell you.
me?
I've lashed out at the Cardinals.
But okay, well, but why are you lashing out at me?
Well, because yesterday that game would have driven me crazy. Get a runner in.
I thought we were
crying
going to
out
win the
loud.
whole way. Afternoon weekday games, it seems like they always win those games late. So when the Royals tied it, I'm just like, well, we'll get a run and win it. Didn't happen that way. Royals got the job done. Royals should not be feeling bad about themselves.
No,
Royals,
they went to Cleveland and won one, lost one. Now those teams meet again very soon, I believe.
3 weeks.
In Kansas City.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
All right, you want to know what we have on the show today?
Sort
Got
of.
a little off the beaten path type of show today in terms of guests. Dan Hajducky from ESPN.com will join us at 2:25. Did you read the piece I sent you?
It was a million words.
It's a long,
right
long
in the middle of a
piece.
work day, so you can draw your own conclusion.
It's about some Jackie Robinson memorabilia, including especially his signed contract with the Dodgers, and the story that goes along with that. Why it's not publicly displayed anywhere. The legal complications that entered into that story. You talk about, I was thinking as I read that, people talk about there's no journalism. That is one of the most well-reported stories I've ever read.
Got to do a lot of digging on a story like
Just
that.
unbelievable. And I look forward to talking to Dan at 2:25. And at 3:40 today, Jimmy James, who's authored a book after playing the 100 most difficult courses in the world.
Most difficult?
Maybe, what is it?
I don't know. I thought it was something like just best.
The 100, well, the best. Aren't the best usually seen as the most difficult?
That's, I don't know. That's up for interpretation. He played the 100 greatest golf courses.
The 100 greatest
So we can
golf-
ask Jimmy if he feels like that means they're the most difficult.
A brand new book out, writing about that experience. That must have been fun. Must be nice to be in a position in your life where I'm going to write a book on playing the 100 greatest golf courses.
It's a good excuse to play some golf, I guess.
My goodness.
For a year.
Wouldn't that be fun? Not to you.
For him, it would.
Not to you.
For me, I'd like to go around to some baseball stadiums and maybe get in some few BP rounds. Maybe some teams will let me take some BP.
When are you going to do the things you've said you'd do on this show?
Like what?
When are you going to try to run it in from a yard against the Wichita South football team?
I thought I already did that.
Now, when are you going to do some of this stuff?
I don't know. I thought it was mostly just talk.
And what was the latest I'm going to eat anything bet about?
Iowa State making the Final Four, which didn't happen.
Doggone it.
Yeah, you were going to make me like anchovies or sardines or something. Have you ever eaten sardines?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I didn't have to.
Not that I'm aware of, nor would I want to.
Because thankfully Iowa State ran into UConn.
My dad, he'd open up a can.
A whoop ass?
And sardines.
Probably both.
He never whooped anybody.
You didn't?
I never got whooped.
I'm not talking about you as a kid,
No,
but
I'm talking about my dad.
You have to think.
To imply that he would open up a can on me is makes me angry.
No, I'm talking about you literally grow up in the roaring 1920s. You don't think he
did, not me.
Of course. Well,
he was born in 1911.
Right. I understand. We went to his marker the other day. What do you call that?
His marker, his headstone, his whatever.
Not really a headstone. It's
his marker.
Yeah. And your mother's, of course.
I'd love to have a conversation with him about some of the things I did not get to.
Yeah, I understand.
I didn't have the mental fortitude.
You just wouldn't have thought of some of the things you think of now.
In my 20s, I had some, but I didn't have what I needed to really delve into my dad's life. And unlike me, he's not someone who shared it all on a radio show.
That's true.
You know everything about me.
You think so?
The good, the bad, the ugly.
How are you feeling? I don't know that.
How?
How are you?
We'll talk about that later.
I don't want to. When I said that you were gaslighting earlier, you seemed to dampen your spirits a little bit. So if that's the case, then I apologize. I don't want
to stand your ground.
I don't want to dampen anybody's spirits.
Don't be weak.
I'm not weak.
If you think I'm gaslighting, tell me.
I did.
And then stand by it.
But stop doing it. But I also apologize.
Well, then I'll gaslight
if I hurt your feelings.
I know I can get away with it.
No, you can't. But I don't want to. Again, I don't want to hurt anybody.
You came out to League 42 the other night, and my team didn't play its best game. Thoughts on my managerial?
Well, the inning we had 3 guys thrown out on the bases. I was really wondering who was leading that club because those were some avoidable mistakes, I thought. But other than that, you tried to find some pitching. It was difficult. You looked like you had some decent arms. You just need to get it across the plate. So
we thought, both teams thought that maybe that outside corner was being robbed a little bit from both teams.
Maybe.
Not that we were going to raise a stink about it because I don't do that. But we thought at the time and in the aftermath that maybe some of those pitches could have been called strikes for both teams, not just ours.
Now, who's the kid who wears the shades up to the plate and's got all the trinkets?
That's Isaac.
Is he a potential?
We love Isaac.
We do love Isaac.
Isaac's a good player.
He looks the part.
He wears his body armor. He wears his mitten.
He does. Might be a little much if I were to tell Isaac, but he can do whatever.
I'm not going to tell Isaac. Isaac can display his individualism all he wants.
But does he need the mitt?
Sure he does.
All right.
Now, one of the other kids on our team doesn't, but we'll talk about that later.
It's all right.
I got a good mix of guys. They're fun. They're funny. I get along with them. Everything's fine.
We enjoyed our time out there.
Did you talk to any of the players?
Why would I talk to the players?
I don't know. Hey, I'm Bob's.
Nah, they don't care. Why would they care?
Oh, they might care.
You had the post-game meeting. I was sitting with Debbie and a gentleman who introduced himself, but he didn't say his name.
Did you ask his name?
No. If he wanted to say it, it's one of the Gabe's dads, number 39.
Oh, yeah, that's Justin.
Justin
Gilbert.
Okay, well, Justin was a good guy.
Good guy. So we look forward to it. We play again tonight. We play tomorrow morning. It just never ends.
Well, I'm not sure the rain's going to hold off for you tonight.
We're not going to get any rain.
It was already starting to rain when I came in.
Really?
Just a few drops.
You felt raindrops.
No, I felt them. I saw them. Pretty much all the senses.
You're kidding.
Smelled them. Tasted them.
It doesn't sound like there's going to be much rain. Sounds like there could be a drop or two, but there's a little cell now just north of Wichita and west of Park City.
That's not the indication I was getting from.
Out by Mays and Valley Center, they're probably feeling a little rain at the moment.
Yeah, the rain's supposed to move in tonight.
Well, we hope it doesn't.
Maybe disrupt some river festival activities.
I don't really care what Storm Tracker 3 or 12 says.
3?
I go by my instincts. And that, let's see here. Things are supposed to clear out. We're going to play baseball. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Dan Hajducky from ESPN.com, who's written quite a story about Jackie Robinson memorabilia and some of the issues that were encountered. He'll have to, I hope he can give us a thumbnail sketch, because I've tried to come up with one, and I can't.
Well, it's a lot.
Maybe you can.
Sure.
You're in the journalism world.
I try to be.
Dan Hajducky next. The Bob and Jeff Show, KFH.
Call from mom. Answer it. Call silenced.
Instacart knows nothing gets between you and the game. That's why they make ordering from your couch easy. Stock up today and get all your groceries for the week delivered in as fast as 30 minutes without missing a minute of the game.
You have 47 new voicemails.
Download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at Cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
And even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
All right, Dan Hajducky from ESPN is with us. He has written an extensive story about Jackie Robinson memorabilia, specifically the signed contracts from his days as a Brooklyn Dodger. Dan, welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
You bet. So when I got this notification the other day and read the story, first of all, that's quite a read. You did some incredible reporting in this piece, and as I told Jeff, my son, those who think journalism is dead should read this story because there's a lot of journalism in it. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was relying through court records over the last few months, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us what led you to the story and describe for our listeners, basically, in your view, kind of a synopsis, thumbnail sketch of what this story is about.
Yeah, toward the end of last year, one of my colleagues said, have you seen anything about this Jackie Robinson contract situation? And at the time, I really hadn't. I knew that I knew that there was something about them happening, but I didn't really know what the status was. And then we started looking into court records going back a few years, and it was just a really fascinating story. Basically, the contracts were purchased from someone that purchased them from an estate about, I think it's 12 years ago now, for $2 million. Well, the person that we're talking about in the story, he purchased them for $2 million from someone that bought them from the Knopp estate. And there was, all this stuff that happened, leading up to now, but basically the contracts are in this legal limbo because they were seized as part of a federal investigation, and which spawned another federal investigation. So there were multiple ones happening at the same time. And sort of the Jackie Robinson contracts, two of the most important documents in, American history as well as American sports history. Their future is kind of murky. And I thought it was interesting to take a look at what's going on with these sort of forgotten documents and what can sort of happen to alternative investments in this space.
What has been Jackie's family's reaction to what's going on, legally?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get in touch with the foundation for the story. We had some reach out to them, and they couldn't be reached for comment. And David Robinson did talk to Willie Weinbaum, my colleague, but he couldn't comment on that because there's ongoing litigation. But so we didn't. We unfortunately couldn't get much on actually on this. But as you saw in the piece, he did give this really kind of wonderful, thoughtful quote about the hobby and the industry, the space in general, which I thought really opened up the whole story and allowed us to tell the story the way that we did.
Dan Hideki with us from ESPN. This story is available to you at ESPN.com. It involves memorabilia and Jackie Robinson. So tell us where these documents are. Where are these signed contracts? There's an individual who is being held right now in custody in Nevada, awaiting trial for what he was trying to do with these contracts. Just describe that to us a little bit.
Yeah, we know that the contracts were they were seized as frozen assets, and they were seized in Las Vegas by the U.S. Marshal Service. We didn't. Pretty much everyone involved with this story wasn't able to talk because of the ongoing litigation. But so we don't have confirmation of where they are at the moment. We have belief, they were seized in 2019 with the U.S. Marshal Service, and what was looking into this is this isn't the Robinson contracts aren't the primary focus of what's going on here. There was a lot more happening, and this was just part of what Mr. Contoy is, being accused of and being looked into for. And as of December, with the SEC and with the SEC trial, what the jury found him liable. So there's a lot happening here that makes it really interesting to read about. And but as far as the contracts go, they're just in a really murky situation. And judge going to weigh ownership portion of it later this year in October. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with the case. I'm very interested, obviously, and invested now. So
one thing, that I found interesting about the piece is the fact that, and I guess I hadn't really thought of it, but now that you had mentioned it, it kind of adds up that there really isn't a lot of Jackie Robinson memorabilia out there, and particularly the fact that his jersey from his debut in 1947 is unaccounted for. So why the lack, generally speaking, of the memorabilia, and are there any leads on where that jersey might be, if it even still exists in its full form?
And I'm not sure. I mean, I talked to this wonderful source, Leila Dunbar, for the piece, and I've talked to her quite a few times over the last few years as I started writing about memorabilia more. But she said that there, even for his era, Robinson memorabilia is exceedingly rare. I'm not sure exactly that is. We've talked about it a few times. It just seems to be that's the case. As for the debut jersey, a colleague of mine and I did a piece in 2021 about famed missing memorabilia and where things might be and how much they might be worth now, or at least at the time. And Robinson's debut jersey was one of the ones that the guy who runs a sports section of an auction house in Texas. That was the one that he mentioned. I would love to find out where that is. No one really knows where it is, but it's obviously in pictures and stuff. But no one really knows where it is, as far as I can tell. As far as the last time I talked to people, they said that's still unaccounted for.
Dan Hideki is our guest from ESPN. So I'm involved with the Youth Baseball League here in Wichita, which is what led Anthony Oliveri to get me in touch with you, because he's been here to write about our stolen statues. So before 2013 or thereabouts, 14, somewhere in that area, I was obviously aware of Jackie Robinson. I knew his story. But since we started League 42 here, I've done really several deep dives. I've learned a lot more about him, his family, his story, his athletic career, his post-baseball career. Do you find yourself also being enthralled just by the story and the impact of Jackie Robinson all these years later? It seems almost surreal that here we are in 2024, and Jackie Robinson still captivates us the way he does.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I know that him and his family. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut, so him and his family, lived in Stamford for a while, and I believe his wife still lives there. I believe there's still Robinson family in Stamford. So as I grew up, even he was even closer to me than just all the books and all the movies and stuff. I think people, if you get a chance, if anyone listening or you guys are ever out in New York, there's a chance to go to the museum that the Jackie Robinson Foundation has put up. It's a nearly 20,000 foot space. It's really incredible to find out, if you haven't found out yet, about his impact. And the society at large, not just sports, not just culture. After how involved he was in policy, quietly and otherwise, he just really loomed large and used his platform for a number of causes, and the museum in New York City really does tell that story, and pretty endlessly fascinating fashion too.
Dan Hideki here with us. My final question doesn't involve your story on Jackie, but it involves you. So I'm interested in your background because, as I said in our opening with you, journalism gets a bad rap in a lot of ways these days, and I hate that as a former journalist myself. I've found this story to be compelling and so well reported. So tell us a little bit about your background and the ongoing importance of good journalism in this country and how much we need it. Just get on your soapbox.
I appreciate that a lot. I obviously very biased, not supposed to be biased, but I obviously, appreciate and value journalism and its place in culture. People think, it's the whole, fake news thing is such a shorthand thing, but, I work for the long form enterprise investigative journalism unit at ESPN, and, there's dozens and dozens of writers and editors that do incredible work that sometimes take weeks, sometimes takes months, sometimes takes years to make sure that the story is right and the story doesn't go out unless it's right. And it's such a pleasure and a privilege to be part of that. But, I went to school I was a goalkeeper at a Division II and Division One school out here. And I went to school for English, and, for me, it was always, if you can make money writing, that's great, but, do what you value and do what makes you happy. And, you'll be fulfilled, and as long as you're creatively fulfilled, things like that fall in place. And I'm very lucky to, I'm very happy to be a part of ESPN and get to do this for a living. So I appreciate that people out there like you and others appreciate that still and see value in it.
Well, Dan, thanks so much for coming on the show. I highly recommend you read this story by Dan about Jackie Robinson memorabilia and specifically the signed contracts he signed with the Dodgers. We appreciate it. Tell Anthony hello, and hopefully we can get you back on the show someday.
I will pass that along, and thanks so much for having me. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right, Dan Hideki from ESPN. It's a really amazing story. It took me a while to get through it. It's complicated.
A lot going on in that story.
There's a lot of nuts and bolts.
Prosecutions.
But so well reported. There you go. Bob and Jeff here on a Friday. You like them, really? Are you
they're okay for me.
Really?
Obviously,
just okay?
Yeah, I'm not into like the rock music. I like rock music, but I'm a softer guy.
How'd that happen with being my kid?
Well, because I like the Eagles.
I like the Eagles. I like that music too, but I don't mind it when they rock.
Well, neither do I, but if I'm going to like the Eagles, then I'm going to drift into some James Taylor territory. Then I'm going to drift,
Well, that's all great, and I'm with you, but I like to hear a guitar riff.
I like when the Eagles rock too. I like everything the Eagles do. That was a nice little rhyme.
I like I like the concept of the electric guitar.
Sure. I'm not denying the Who's legendary status or their talent.
When I was a kid and I was kind of toying around with the idea of a guitar, and I never did it. I never made the leap.
No, never.
Which is sad. But
Very
it was
sad.
the electric guitar that attracted me.
Well, sorry you didn't pursue that. That's kind of on you.
I wish I'd gone down that path. And now I'm in a position where I want to tell kids that musically they should pursue something.
If they want.
No, they should want to pursue something.
Well, if they don't, that's okay too.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm going to go ahead and make that blanket statement.
Well, I wish you wouldn't.
I don't know why.
If they don't want to pursue music, they don't have to.
They don't have to, but they should want to.
We can all speak to the role that the positive role that music has played in our lives.
You didn't pursue any music, and I should have made you.
I drum as we speak.
I should have taken you to a music store and told them, you get this kid to play an instrument and don't unlock the door until it happens.
Now that I've
Did you hear me?
Kind of, I don't have any.
You're ignoring me.
I didn't hear what you said. I don't have time for this, but now that I've become sort of a competent drummer.
Are you
competent?
First of all, are you a competent?
Competent, not good, but I am competent. I wonder if I should pursue lessons again, to take that next step. Because I've plateaued. I'm not going to get any better on my own, most likely. What should I do?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. If you want to learn to play better, you better take lessons.
Sure better.
If it doesn't mean that much to you, then you shouldn't.
Well, I like playing. I have fun playing.
If you have fun playing and you're fine being just quote unquote competent, then hang with that. If you have fun playing and you think you'd have more fun playing, if you were better, then go for it.
I'll think about it. I got a lot going on in life.
Well, then quit bringing it up.
It would have to be a fall endeavor, most likely.
What do you got this summer?
I have 3 jobs, and I'm at one of them right now doing it. I got Wind Surge. I got Channel 12.
When's the Wind Surge back?
Next week.
Once the season's over for us, I'm gonna rent that Fidelity Club Bank, whatever they call it. I'm up there, man.
Who's coming with you?
I'll get some friends.
You don't want to go to the Coors Pavilion or the
I don't mind the Coors Pavilion.
Emprise Bank Pavilion?
Those are all fine. But I like being up there in the Fidelity Club.
You sure do. Why not just get a regular box or suite or whatever they call it?
I don't think I can afford that.
You can afford the biggest one, though?
I'm talking about for me and my wife, not for others.
You can...
For instance, I'd never take you up there.
You don't have to be part of a group to be in the Fidelity box?
No.
You can just get, hey, we got 2 tickets for Fidelity.
Sure.
Some people might have 4 tickets. The other guy might just be on his own.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, how about
Did
that?
you not know that? How do you think they get a crowd in there every night? You think some guy just says, I want 200 people up here? What's wrong with you?
Well, I don't know that there is a quote-unquote crowd in there every night.
There's always people in there.
Okay.
And when I go to my next game, it will be in the Fidelity
How
Club.
much did that run you?
You don't need to know
2
that.
tickets to the Fidelity.
You don't need to know
I'll
that.
look it up.
I don't know why you ask questions like that. You're trying to get at how much money I have because you think some of it's coming your way someday.
Well, that'd be the hope.
And after this kitchen remodel, I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't nothing coming your way.
Really? A kitchen over your only begotten son?
I've never been a believer in leaving money to a son or daughter.
Why?
Because I just don't. Why?
Why not?
It's my money.
Okay. It's your.
Why would I not use my money?
It's not your kitchen. It's not. I mean, it's not going to
Why
be
would
your
I-
money. It's not going to be your kitchen. It's not going to be your anything. Why
This is
not
gonna
make
be
my
my
life?
kitchen.
No, it's not. You'll be long gone. You're not taking the kitchen with you. You're not
You know
taking
who
the.
I'm leaving that money to for
Who?
this house?
Who?
League 42, baby. Right into the coffers.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I do that?
I don't know. No. Nightly suite rentals, Coors Light party porch. Fidelity's not even on here.
Yeah, that's right. That's because the cream of the crop goes there. And they don't want to advertise the price. It would offend those of us who pay it.
Where's the daggone Fidelity?
Right. They're not going to tell you. How much do you think it costs?
Membership access plans. Outfield berm. Nope.
How much do you think it costs to get 2 tickets to go?
$300.
That's what you think. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
I must be pretty close.
Interesting to know what you think. I always am curious to know what people think. College baseball super regionals underway. We got 4 games today. 4 games today. Florida State 24, UConn 4.
Wow.
In one of the
What
super
UConn's going
regionals.
on.
Evansville out of the Missouri Valley Conference leading Tennessee, the number 1 seed. Evansville 4, Tennessee 1, and that game right now is 2-1 Evansville early in the 3rd inning.
Wait, I thought you just said 4-1.
2-1. Evansville's the 4 seed.
Oh.
Coming up later today, West Virginia, North Carolina. The Tar Heels a 1 seed, West Virginia a 3 seed, and then Kansas State a 3 seed out of its regional in Charlottesville to take on Virginia. And that's certainly one that intrigues me. That game can be seen this evening on ESPN2.
Yeah, K-State went through their regional undefeated. They beat Hagen Smith of Arkansas. Kalen Culpepper, I think, hit for the cycle in one of those games.
Tennessee, which is playing and losing right now, is a kid from Hayes there.
Well, that's good.
Has had a big year, postseason especially. So there's certain things to keep your eyes on.
Always. I might watch that K-State game after the Guards.
You have ESPN2?
Yeah, I have everything.
Really?
Yeah, we have.
When'd you get it all?
We have Sling TV.
When'd you get it all?
A while ago.
How's Sling TV work for you?
It's fine.
You get the local channels?
No.
So you can't watch your own channel?
I can. It's on Paramount Plus, but I canceled that. We're trying to cut back on some things.
So you work for a station you can't even watch?
Of course I can watch it. I can watch it on the app.
I don't get it.
Oh, I'm glued to our newscasts every night.
I don't get it. What are you trying to cut back for? You having some money issues?
Always. There's always
Is that
money.
why you're after my money?
Yes.
Your wife just got a raise.
Well, we just had to pay for a new dishwasher. Our dryer broke. It's always something. We're sending the kid to college. She has no money. She needs to get a job.
That's not our problem.
It's not your
We're
problem.
the listening audience.
It's not your problem.
Well, get her a job.
I've tried.
Where'd you try?
I told her to go to the Windsurge job fair and just work there for $15 an hour, 10 or 12 or whatever it is, and just make a little bit of money because you don't have to be there every night. They work around your schedule, but hey.
Yeah, listen.
I don't want to raise somebody that don't want to work.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I worked from the time I was 15.
Yeah, me too,
You got
16.
you got no issues talking to me. You know why I worked?
Because you needed money.
Yeah. You know who didn't have money?
Your parents.
Right.
Yeah, same apparently.
I mean, they
might as well
not,
be the
not
exact
that they
same.
didn't have money, but every amount of money they had went toward making things work.
Right. That's kind of what our life is right now.
My dad sat me down when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I don't know when it was. And here's what he said. He said, do you want to know exactly what he said?
I doubt this happened, but yeah.
No, it happened. Do you want it verbatim?
Yeah. There's no chance that this is a real thing, but I want the audience to know that. But
It's a real thing.
I'll humor you.
It's a real thing.
Okay.
Because it's what I remember. He said to me, Bob. What he called me.
Sure.
No, really. What do you think he called me?
Bobby?
No, he didn't call me Bobby.
He didn't? Hey, I've got
my wife did.
I've got this
my mother
12-year-old.
did.
His name's Bob.
Yeah, I was Bob.
That's weird.
I was Bob.
Can you imagine a kid named Bob?
Yeah, there were a lot of them. Bob was a common name.
Who was your
Here's
best
what he
friend?
said.
Walter?
Not funny.
Yeah, it is.
Here's what he... No, it's not funny at all. There's nothing funny about that.
Sure it is. Making fun of your age will never not be funny.
Here's what he said. Bob?
Yeah?
I want you to go to college someday. I think it'd be a great thing for you. You're obviously incredibly intelligent.
Oh, there you go.
See that? No, I'm talking verbatim.
Yeah, this is verbatim. You don't remember a thing about anything he ever else said.
If I've ever met a college kid, it's you. But what I want you to know is we can't pay a dime for it. We just don't have the money. So you're either going to have to get scholarships or...
Well, that didn't happen.
You're going to pay your way. And you know what I said to my dad? I said, Ray...
Scholarships are for losers.
I said, Ray, I'll take care of it.
Was your dad's name Ray or Raymond? I've never really figured this one out.
And at that point, he patted me on the back and said, you go get him.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm not done telling the story.
Great. What was his name, though, for real?
Ray.
It wasn't Raymond?
On his birth certificate, but nobody called him Raymond.
But was that his real name?
On his birth certificate.
That's too bad, because his middle name was Lewis.
Raymond Lewis Lutz.
Ray Lewis. That's cool.
Right. Ray Lewis Lutz.
Yeah.
Right. He had a
How
brother
come you
named
went-
Cleland. He had sisters named
How come
Mildred,
they went with-
Fern, and Esther.
How come they
right
went
out
with
of the early
Douglas?
1900s.
Right, I know. How come they went with Douglas instead of Robert Louis Lutz?
I don't care. I didn't ask.
And then you went Douglas.
I didn't care. I didn't ask him. You think I cared about my middle name?
Yeah.
No.
Why'd you go Douglas?
Because I like Douglas.
Because it's your middle name.
Because Douglas is a good name. That's
Fine.
why.
It's kind of boring, but it's all right.
No, it's a great name.
Jeffrey, now that's a cool name.
Right, I picked a great name.
I think my mom picked Jeffrey,
Nah,
right?
she didn't have a clue.
She didn't have a clue.
Had no clue about what to name. Yeah, I went. It was all me.
Okay.
Well, I mean, no offense.
I think it was probably at worst agreed upon,
Well, sure, she agreed upon it.
and at best probably 70-30 her.
Right.
Okay. So what am I wrong about?
No, it wasn't 70-30 her.
What was it?
I picked Jeff because I thought it sounded like a major league third base.
Yeah, I know. You've said that before.
And you came up empty. All right, we'll
The
take a
odds
break.
were so much in my favor. for
Came up an empty. This somewhat of a disappointment in
Sorry
that
about that.
regard. Not in other regards, but certainly in the baseball regard.
Really?
Somewhat.
That's interesting. I thought I did okay in baseball.
You did fine, but I had high hopes.
Okay.
All right, we're through hour number one. We've got more to talk about, including Game 1 of the NBA Finals, which was a blowout for the Boston Celtics. We've got a guest coming up who's going to talk playing the 100 greatest golf courses in the world, right?
I thought it was in the United States.
Maybe so. Jimmy James is his name. All of that next. The Bob and Jeff Show, KFH.
Are you ready? You want the noise brought on you? Because here it comes. What? The noise brought on you, because here it comes.
This is my job.
Showtime. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? Ready.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz,
Is this show getting more and more difficult for you to do?
That's gotta be it!
Jeff Lutz,
This isn't that hard.
There are so many great things to do with the human mouth. Why waste it on talking?
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
All right, welcome back. It's hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Last night, the Boston Celtics left no doubt about who was going to win Game 1. Jumped on Dallas early and often on the way to a 107-89 win over the Dallas Mavericks. We waited a long time to get to Game 1, and that was a dud. Is this series going to amount to anything?
I'm not going to read too much into that. Game 1 after a really, really long layoff. Obviously, Boston looked a lot better. Dallas didn't do a whole lot. But
Kyrie Irving was terrible.
Somebody's going to be flat. Somebody's not going to be. I don't put any stock in that.
The NBA is so interesting to me, and not necessarily always in a good way. So we get to the finals, and we have no inside the NBA, which is basically one of the things that draws me.
Well, because they're not on TNT.
And these ESPN guys got about a minute and a half last night at halftime to talk about the game.
Who's even on that crew?
Stephen A. Smith.
Not Jalen, because he was...
Michaela, what's her name?
Packing.
Who?
Jalen. He's been sent packing a while ago.
Yeah, I don't know where
Just
Jalen.
an absolute travesty of justice.
But anyway, now we've got negotiations underway for the TV rights, and we're potentially gonna lose inside the NBA. What are they thinking? Don't they realize that's probably their number one property? That's probably the number one best thing about the NBA TV package.
Yeah, probably.
Better than the games.
A lot of times, sure.
Nobody's ever said that about a studio show.
But if you get money, that's money. You have money. It's in your hand. It's guaranteed. And if they can get the most money without inside the NBA, then they're going to do it.
Then they're slapping the faces of the public.
Right. Not very many organizations anymore of that amount of. Is there a verb?
What are you trying to say?
Is there a verb for lucrativity? A noun?
No.
Lucrativity? Is that not a word?
Not a word.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a noun for lucrative?
Yeah, lucrative.
That's an adjective.
Lucrative nature.
But very few of them have their fans' best interests in mind.
Well, they should. By the way, part of my personal life, one of my classmates is over here today helping my wife with plants, potting plants and doing all that. A woman I went to school with from the time I was in grade school.
Well, that's exciting.
It is exciting. I hadn't seen her in years.
How are they getting along?
They're wonderful friends.
They are?
Yes.
Already?
Two of them. Well, they've met.
You said you hadn't seen her in years.
I hadn't seen her.
Why is she?
Because my wife struck up a friendship with her.
Okay. When?
She runs an antique store in Derby.
That's beautiful.
And has for years. And is extremely talented. And her name's Raji. And I've known her basically my entire life.
So that's a beautiful, just...
Isn't that something?
Serendipitous.
You don't even have anything to say about it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
If I told anybody else in the world that story, they'd
what would
be
they say?
Glowing.
What would Jason Duda say?
Wow, that's cool.
He would?
Sure he would.
Well, I said a lot of stuff. I said it's lovely, it's an amazing story, it's serendipitous.
Yeah, but do you mean it?
Of course.
Did you introduce yourself?
No.
To Raji.
I'm shy. You know this.
Did you see her?
Barely.
But you didn't ask my. I mean,
no, I didn't. That's not none of my business. You don't just go up to people if they want to,
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm Bob's son. How are you? I haven't met. Ask a question or two.
Makes me kind of nervous.
That's all you got to do. Just ask a question or two.
Really?
She lived on North Kokomo. I lived on North Baltimore.
Yeah, you lived on Baltimore Street.
We lived about 4 blocks from one another.
Baltimore Street is a mecca in Derby now. It's everywhere.
It goes from north to south.
Yeah.
My little neck of the woods was in the 1000 block of North Baltimore. You spent some time
1000
there.
or 1000?
As a very 1000.
You guys were nuts. Didn't know how to count numbers, didn't know how to dial phones.
We lived in the 1000 block, and right in the middle of the block. So everything that went on in the block, I was aware of.
Absolutely.
You know, I was right in the middle of everything, literally.
Well, only literally.
Had a great young life there.
Right. Yeah, and I did spend some time over there.
Walked half a block to my elementary school.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, I guess.
Why don't you care more?
I didn't live that far from OK back in the day.
You didn't live that close.
I mean, when we moved to the west side.
You didn't live that close. You had to. You could have walked, but and you did walk some, but it wasn't a half a block.
Was 5th grade the first year of Bella Vista?
I don't know. I didn't write it down. What do you think? I kept a diary?
Well, when did you move there?
I don't care when you. 1994.
94. Yeah, so I was probably in 5th grade or 6th, but maybe 5th.
Yeah, I think 5th grade.
93, 94 was my 5th grade year.
Yeah, I moved there in the winter of 94.
The winter as in December or as in January?
I don't know when it was. I just found a house I liked. I bought it, and the rest is history.
It's a good house. Treated us well.
I had a nice time over there, but I've been here now 18 years in the West Wichita basement studio.
It's insane.
I'm so comfortable here. Every time I think, man, we should sell this house and downsize a little bit and get rid of some of these 75-inch TVs that we own.
Yeah.
I just, I can't do it.
Am I going to turn out like you?
Wouldn't that be great if you did?
Man.
How did I turn out?
I don't know.
Don't you admire me in some ways?
Like what? Like what ways?
Like the way I am. Don't you admire that I can get on a radio show at the age of 69 and just let it fly? Without seemingly having any self-consciousness or even much self-awareness. Don't you admire that?
It's fine.
I have to believe the listeners like it.
Sure. Some of the older ones probably do.
They don't like the way you just are in here by the book. Yes, I believe that's true.
Yeah, that's me.
I think that did happen. I mean, nobody wants to listen to that.
That's so me. Do it again.
Yes,
Uncanny.
I totally believe it.
Is that a recording of me?
Yes, that's
wow.
how you sound.
That's amazing.
Meanwhile, I'm over here it's improv every day. I might as well be, who's that guy? Ryan
Stiles?
Yeah.
Why are you thinking of him?
Because he's an improv guy, I think.
He's one of them.
Drew Carey.
Colin Mockery.
That was a good show.
Wayne Brady. And then whoever else is the fourth
That was
person.
a good show.
It's still on.
On what? What's it on?
CW, maybe? Alicia Tyler is the host.
Who's still on it?
Everybody.
Ryan, what's his name?
Yeah, Stiles, Mockery, and Wayne Brady. They're all still on it. Last I checked.
Well, there's nothing better than improv.
It's quite the statement.
In my opinion.
There's nothing better? What about a cheeseburger?
No, I like improv for comedy.
Okay, because you like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
That's genuinely funny people doing funny things. They're not writing their jokes. They're not testing
what
them
other
out.
improv do you have experience with?
Me. This show.
Okay, go for it.
I'm doing it right now.
This is you being funny.
This is me being funny.
Wow. You should be in a troupe.
I should be.
Well, go do it.
Somebody should call me.
No, you got to go pursue
Because
that yourself.
This unleashes. I'm going to tell you right now, I can relate to the people who say they have multiple personalities. Because I think I do.
No, you don't.
And on this radio show, this is a personality rarely seen.
You have a personality.
Or heard outside of
and it's
these
always
2 hours.
volatile.
Why do you say that?
Because it is. You're an up and down guy. That's your personality.
That's what'll be in my obit?
I doubt it.
Is that what you'll say? Hey, Jeff, we'd like a
probably,
comment
yeah.
from you about your dad.
No,
How was it?
comment?
Oh, volatile. Volatile. Just always up and down. Thanks a lot. You know what I'll call you from wherever I am?
You aren't proud of that, in a way?
You know what I'll call you?
No.
You know, it starts with an A.
What does it end with?
An E.
What's in the middle?
You know what it ends with.
Soul. Can I say that?
What would you say?
About you? Here's what
Jeff, this is so-and-so from the Wichita Eagle. We need a comment from you.
This isn't my comment, but here's what I've discovered about our relationship. Not necessarily currently, but maybe the reason why it didn't take off the way we hoped it would.
What do you mean it didn't take off?
You know, a little combative relationship, kind of hot and cold. Here's why that is.
Because you're completely unlike me.
Because we always chose to see the worst in each other.
What?
Yeah, I think that's true.
I didn't choose to see the worst.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
If I go 3 for 4, you talk about my out. If I get straight A's, you talk about my B.
Well, then you didn't get straight A's.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
kind of picked on the negative, right? You kind of chose to hone in on the negative.
Well, that's a terrible.
And then in response, I kind of honed in on, well, this guy's kind of nuts, and this guy's kind of mean, and then we only saw the worst.
So you're gonna that's gonna be your quote?
No, I told you that's not my quote.
They're gonna hear that, and they're gonna say, well, on a radio show on 6/7/2024 that we got our hands on. You basically said your dad was an A, you know what?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
So what's your quote?
I don't know yet. Won't I write the obituary? Do you want it to be a warts and all obituary? Or do you want me to just speak in glowing terms?
You're going to write a warts and all
I'm
obituary.
asking you.
What
do you prefer?
You're literally going to bury me as you bury me.
I didn't say that.
That's unbelievable.
I didn't say that.
Well, you're going to write a warts and all.
No, I asked if that's what you want.
A warts and all. Who wants that?
I think I do.
So I'll write about that one time in 4 that you didn't get a hit.
Right.
And how upset it made me.
I know.
Which never happened.
Of course it did.
No. If you went 3 for 4, we were good.
Ask anybody.
Ask anybody. Please.
But I think we need to, as the years go on, focus on the positives. Right?
What do you mean focus on the positive?
Just, hey, I'm a good guy, you're a good guy. If I do something wrong, it doesn't define my entire personality.
Well, what have you done wrong?
If you do something that I don't agree with, it doesn't define your entire personality or our relationship or anything like that.
I don't even understand where you're coming from.
You don't?
No, not really.
Well, I think that's
because
a reason.
I think you've created a scenario in your mind.
No, I think it's true.
That
you think I just came up with this now?
That is a pretty good narrative and may be able to explain some things, but may not be all the way factual. So
it's as close.
That's certainly been known to happen.
Not really.
People in their lives.
No, I think I'm onto something.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, I don't think it's a good thing.
I think it's in the past.
I think I've been as positive about your positives as any other parent.
Okay.
Would be.
Okay.
I mean, that's what parents do.
Okay. then maybe I'm not onto something.
And they want their kids to strive to be.
But I don't see it as a bad thing. I think when you recognize things that, may or may not be true, then you can grow from there.
I don't know I honestly don't even really know what you're getting at.
Really?
Not really.
I think I've put it pretty well.
It doesn't seem.
Well, I don't hold anything against you.
It doesn't seem factual to me.
Okay.
There's nothing to hold against me.
Okay.
You're on a search for something.
No,
I know you are.
No, I'm not.
You are. You're on a search for something.
No, I'm not. I'm always thinking about stuff.
You're on a search for reasons and
there's no reasons
and explanations and
I think everyone should be on a search at all times.
I'm not.
Why?
Because I'm almost 70. There's no more reasons or explanations.
That's not a way. That's not a good way to live life.
There's just this is what it is.
That's not a good way to live.
Of course it is.
No, it's not.
At some point, you stop the search.
You shouldn't.
You call them off.
Should never stop.
You bring the dogs home.
Should never stop growing.
Are you growing?
Yeah.
Okay. If this is growing, then good for you.
I always want to grow. It doesn't always happen. But I don't know. I think thinking about things, whether you're on to you draw the correct conclusions or not, I think it's healthy.
I'm not even really sure what this last 5 minutes has been about.
I think it's healthy to take stock of your own life.
I guess.
That's all. No biggie.
I mean, I don't dwell on it. If I dwell on taking stock,
well, I do. I'm
going to have. I'm not going to be able to function.
Why?
Cause.
Well, I'm a take
stock guy. You get bogged down.
I'm a take stock guy, for better or worse.
I don't want to get bogged down. Does that make sense? I'm not a bogged down kind of guy.
Okay.
I am a take a break kind of guy, which we need to do.
We do?
We've got an interview left in the show today that will end this show and this week on. Jimmy James, who's written about playing the 100 greatest golf courses. He will join us at around 3:40 today. You're listening to Bob and Jeff on KFH.
We really need new phones.
T-Mobile will cover the cost of 4 amazing new iPhone 15s, and each line is only $25 a month.
New iPhone 15s?
It's better over here.
Only at T-Mobile, get 4 iPhone 15s on us and 4 lines for $25 per line per month with eligible trade-in when you switch.
Minimum of 4 lines for $25 per line per month with autopay discount using debit or bank account. $5 more per line without autopay, plus taxes and fees. Phone fee at 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers. Contact us before canceling account to continue bill credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. $35 per line connection charge applies. See T-Mobile.com.
This is what happens as you get older. 30 years seems like a long time ago.
89.
I mean, is that crazy? 35 years ago.
Yeah, July 1989. In Canada, December 1989 in the U.S. It was released at different times in different countries.
I live in the U.S.
Well, then it was released.
I don't care when it was released in Canada. I wasn't in Canada to hear it.
She is Canadian, so it's going to be released
Canadian
in her home country first.
Well, that makes sense. If I was Canadian, I'd want what I released.
What do you think the highest chart position was?
It got into the top 10.
Yeah, it got all the way into the top.
Are you gonna let me answer?
Sure.
You got to number 3.
Number 1.
That's why it played so often.
For 2 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
And I don't know that Atlanta Miles did a whole lot other than that song.
The B-side to that song, of course, was If You Want To.
Don't know it. Did that do anything?
No. Let me see if she had another charting.
I think you would regard Atlanta Miles as a one-hit wonder.
Well, let me see if she had another song that charted in the U.S. Number 36, Love Is. And that's the only other one.
I would... Again.
In Canada, she had several hits.
I don't live in Canada.
Just telling you, she does.
And what she does in Canada stays in Canada almost literally.
You know the song Lover of Mine?
No.
I got to number 2 in Canada.
By Atlanta Miles?
Yes.
How'd it do here?
It didn't chart.
Wonder why.
Got to number 16 in Finland.
I could hum and it'd get to 16 in Finland.
Oh, I think you should put that out then.
Seriously.
Have
you heard the music that's popular in Finland?
Well, the song Instead of a Kiss, number 1 in Canada, number 12 in Finland. She was big in Finland. 4 top 20 hits in Finland.
I don't think Tony would mind. I want to thank Sam Siebert at the Home Depot. They've agreed to help with some work in the Jackie Robinson Pavilion in terms of adding some shrubbery, doing some cleaning up over there, just making the place look nicer as we prepare to
unveil the new
statue. And on Monday, after I dot a few more I's and cross just a couple more T's, I'll let everybody know the exact date of that happening.
All right.
I've already let some people know.
Why don't you just let me know? Just whisper it in my ear right now.
I'm still a little nervous about it. I'm not really, because it's kind of been a date directed to me by Major League Baseball. But I'm just a tad nervous.
What kind of Major League Baseball reps are going to be out here?
Well, they're sending a contingent.
Some people we might have heard of.
And when I say a contingent, that means what?
That means
more than a couple.
Yeah.
It means they're flying in.
I'm going to have to have a conversation with some of those people.
Why?
Why not?
What would you possibly say? Give me an example. They're flying in for a Jackie Robinson statue unveiling, and they're coming over there to McAdams Park.
Are we talking about any former big leaguers?
I don't know, but what would you possibly say?
Well, hello, Mr.
You would?
I have some things I need to discuss with you.
What would you discuss?
How come in the you weren't
So you want to talk to CC Sabathia?
Is he coming?
Is that what you're indicating?
Maybe.
He's one of the names that's been mentioned. Nothing has been finalized.
All right.
But it'll be a big deal.
Sure will.
It'll be a big deal nationally. It'll be a big deal. And then I hope after that, everyone can kind of go on and we learn from this statue theft, and we go on and continue to run a youth baseball organization. These past, what is it now?
6 months almost.
No, January, not even 5 months, 4.5 months have been unlike any that I've ever lived through, in good and bad ways. If I were to write a book, this would consume a lot of it.
This might be the whole book.
It might be the whole book, because I've never had anything like this happen to me. Did you see the story in the Washington Post?
I did.
About the effects of Jackie Robinson and how he's still, it's just remarkable, and how he's still such a tantalizing subject all these years later that Jerry Brewer wrote. And a lot of that was devoted to the statue theft. And I appreciate Jerry, another tremendous reporting job, by the way. And the story that he wrote as a part of a series, but just unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. You were in the Washington Post for this.
That's not what's unbelievable.
I get it.
What's unbelievable is that Jackie Robinson, and I'm so thankful that when we named this league, we had people out there smart enough to recognize that it should be named for Jackie Robinson. That didn't come from me. I wish it had. I was struggling with what to name this league. And the guy who said, name it after Jackie Robinson, and then another guy said, League 42, Oh, my goodness. Just fell in our laps.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
So we got the right name, and now the challenge has been to live up to Jackie's name, number, and legacy. So that's what we're trying to do on a daily basis. This is a part of your father that you just can't relate to.
That's a goal that, of course, I can relate to it. Why would I not be able to relate?
I don't know. It's like you get glassy-eyed when I talk about this stuff.
What does that mean? I don't know what glassy-eyed means.
Look up the term glassy-eyed.
I will. See what the definition of it is.
Glassy-eyed's a great description.
That's funny.
What'd you find?
Someone sent me something funny.
About me?
No.
About you?
No. It was a reference to something that was discussed earlier today.
In the show?
No.
Well, then why do I care?
It's glassy-eyed. I mean, I think this is how you're using it.
All right, go with it.
Having a dull, dazed, or uncomprehending expression.
Right.
I think that's what you think. So, okay, then you used it correctly. But I don't think it's necessarily accurate.
How would I not use that term correctly?
No, I think you used it correctly in the way that you meant it, but I don't think the way you meant it
You don't think it's accurate?
is accurate.
Okay, maybe not, but the way I meant it was accurate. Does that make sense?
I'm not a great reactor to serious stuff. Just not that good at that. When stuff is serious, I don't know what to say most of the time.
Listen, you either get it or you don't.
I get it, but I just don't know what to say.
Or you can either react to it or you can't.
I'd try.
And you do a fine job. How's that for positivity?
Appreciate it. See, we're learning. We're growing.
Just a great job.
You and me together.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
That's all I'm going to say from now on. Jeff, you're wonderful.
I'd like to hope so. At times.
Why would you hope so? Why wouldn't you know so?
I don't think anybody's wonderful. I think a lot of nice people.
Everybody's wonderful in their own way.
Most
people. A lot of wonderful people. We're pursuing Jimmy James to talk about his book about playing the 100 greatest golf courses in America. So we look forward to that.
Jimmy James.
Jimmy James. We don't have very long, Jimmy. So you better... Plus, he retweeted the fact that he was going to be on the show today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Things happen in life.
Is it James? James is his real name, do you think?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Maybe Jimmy James is a pseudonym of some sort.
I don't know why you'd insinuate that.
Well, because authors write books under other names.
Well, I don't know why that would even be a thought.
Because authors write books under other names.
I don't know why you'd even go there.
Because it's a possibility.
I don't know why
you're not curious if his name is James.
Never
James?
thought about it.
Well, everyone else.
Jimmy James.
Yeah, James.
Hey, Jimmy. Maybe it's not James. Here is Jimmy James. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello.
So you've written a book that everybody is talking about in the golf world for sure. It's called Playing from the Rough, A Personal Journey Through America's 100 Greatest Golf Courses. But this also has a little bit of a societal theme to it as well. So tell us a little bit about the idea for the book, what you were trying to accomplish, how you picked the golf courses, all of that stuff.
Okay, real quickly, just on the golf courses, that part's easy. I use Golf Digest 100 Greatest Golf Courses, 100 Greatest Courses in America. And I used it because the list to really truly play the top 100, you have to play all the courses while they're in the top 100. And to do it, you have to do that really in about a year. Golf Digest has a list that lasts for 2 years, and I was doing my 1 year, half of 2017, half of 2018. I didn't know most of the courses on the list I'd never heard of, but that's how I got the list, was the Golf Digest list. With the book, I wanted to tell the story because I myself was fascinated by the contrast of my life, the contrast of golf, the idea and kindness of all of the people that I met, to share some of their stories, to praise my mother for the value she instilled in us and the perseverance and the expectation of looking for kindness in everyone. And I wanted to write a book where Some would come for the golf and stay for the stories. Some would come for the stories and read about golf, which is something they'd never do in just the regular course of their lives. And so
Jimmy, real quick, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I also wrote it in a way that I hope that every reader is able to find a piece of themselves in the story.
I love it. So real quick, Jimmy, we were just talking, and a yes or no will do. Is your given name James James?
No, it's Jimmy, J-M-M-I-E.
Okay, good enough. So we were talking earlier also about the 100 greatest. Does that equate to the 100 most difficult? Not that you've played every course, obviously, but how challenging was the actual golf on this endeavor?
Some of the courses were extremely difficult. Not all of them were. But Pikewood National in Morgantown, West Virginia, Oakmont, Shinnecock, Pine Valley. Pine Valley, some golf courses, you'll have what people call a hole where you can sort of relax on, a let-up hole. At Pine Valley, there aren't any let-up shots. Every shot has to be precise. Get into the church pew bunkers at Oakmont, and you might as well pack a lunch. There are challenging aspects of a lot of courses, and then some of them, like I thought Laurel Valley wasn't so hard. But there are some courses that were a lot less hard than some of those I just mentioned.
Talking with author Jimmy James. Playing from the Rough is the name of his new book. You had a challenging upbringing, raised by a single mother. You're an African-American man. You spent 33 years working at ExxonMobil, retired at the age of 58. So an incredibly interesting life you have led. Tell us what you learned about, maybe some have learned about yourself in this journey on America's 100 greatest golf courses. But what did you learn about America?
I learned that America is still a place where people will help other people achieve their dreams. I learned that America is a place that's still filled with challenges. We're not perfect, but the only way we're going to become more perfect is that each of us does our part to make it a better country. I think back to what President Kennedy said in the early 60s, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I put that into ask not what problems your government can solve for you, but what problems can you solve for your country? That if each of us every day thought about what we can do to make our country a better country and how to work together to do that, that I think we would be more successful at creating a more perfect union.
And before we let you go, and I'm sorry our time is running out because this is a fascinating book that you've written, but I'm curious as a golfer, where did you play your best round of golf? Not necessarily your best score, but where did you play your best round of golf, and where did you play your worst?
My best round of golf was at Monterey Peninsula Shores course, and it was also my best score. It was, we talk about it today about being in the zone. There was a guy, a Hungarian psychologist, wrote a book. His name is Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, called Flow. And in Flow, it's where the mental part of you and the physical part of you, the boundary between the two just collapses. And you do everything you want to do the way you want to do it without even thinking about it. And that day, I was just swinging, and the ball was going exactly where I wanted it to go. And I shot a 76. I found my flow that day. My worst round and most challenging was Pikewood National in Morgantown, West Virginia. Playing, the shortest tees were 7,100 yards with fairways bordered with 6 inches of Kentucky bluegrass rough and the same around the greens. There was no first cut. You missed by an inch, you could have trouble finding your ball. I shot a brutal 105 at Pikewood, highest score of the entire Odyssey.
And if you're like most golfers, those are the 2 rounds you'll probably always remember, right? The best and the worst.
Yes, I'll always remember those 2.
Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for coming on. It's a great idea you had to write this, and I'm glad you expanded your thoughts beyond just the playing of golf. Jimmy James, Playing from the Rough, his new book, The 100 Greatest Golf Courses in America. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it.
You bet. All right, good stuff. I could talk to him for forever about that.
I could have too, but I got one question in.
Well, maybe we'll get with Jimmy again sometime.
That'd be beautiful.
Because fascinating. That fascinates me. Thanks for listening, everyone. We've come to the end of the week. Have a good weekend. We'll be back here on Monday. See you then.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
Yes, goal.
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
TuneIn is the audio platform with something for everyone. News.
In order to secure convictions in a court of law, it is essential that we conclusively.
Sports.
Shot clock at 4. Doncic. The step back 3. You bet.
Music.
You set my world on fire. Yes,
and even podcasts. Whatever you love, hear it right here on TuneIn. Go to TuneIn.com or download the TuneIn app to start listening.
Everybody knows it. Toyota trucks are the stuff of legends. Rugged, durable, everlasting. Toyota makes trucks that just don't quit. And now Toyota is driving that legacy toward the future with 2 of their most powerful trucks ever, the new Tundra and the all-new Tacoma. In a half-ton Tundra, you can rule the roads. From the comfort of a spacious cabin with connected tech and plenty of hauling power, the Tundra is ready to work hard and play even harder. Or check out the all-new 24 Tacoma, redesigned and electrified to maximize your adventure. With a bevy of available off-road driving and power transfer modes, you will effortlessly crush the conditions. And with the Tacoma's reimagined interior, you'll do it in style. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.